You know you're all alone. Your friends, they aren't at home. Everybody's gone to the garden. As you look into the trees, look but you don't see. Flowers seem to tease you at the garden. Everybody's there, but you don't seem to care. What's it with you, man, and this garden? Oh yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Turned into my worst phobia, a crazy man's utopia. If you're lost, no one can show ya, but it sure was glad to know ya. Only poor boys take a chance on the garden song and dance. Feel her flowers as they wrap around, but only smart boys do without. You can find it all inside. No need to wrestle with your pride. No, you ain't losing your mind. You're just in the garden. They can lead you to yourself. Or you can throw it on the shelf, but you know you can look inside for the garden. Oh yeah. Mm, uh, 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 uh. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. I wasn't really scared. Lost my virginity there to a gypsy with blonde hair, but now no one seems to care. Like a mouse inside a maze, wandering round for days, with a smile upon my face. I never want to leave this bloody place. Welcome to another episode of the apocalypse. Yes, it appears measles will now be renamed Freedom Freckles. And by the way, since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I am that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you. Yes, 470 measles cases in Texas and New Mexico. We're not dealing with isolated events anymore. This is regional surge. A vaccine-preventable disease is exploding across 2 states, while public health agencies offer press quotes instead of emergency declarations. Well, we know Donnie and Leon and the boys don't want emergency declarations. That messes up the groove. You know, the groove of tanking the stock market 1,000 points in after-hours trading like Donnie's doing right now. Donnie's his own worst enemy, but you know what? It's all just casualties of the grift. The stock market, your life, your job, your children, your future. All of that is just a casualty to the grift for Donnie, for Leon, and it's going to get a lot worse. And a lot of people are going to die, unfortunately. Just because of these cuts, a lot of people are going to die. But that was the point. Again, when you do a Nazi salute, son, you are saying something. You are making a statement that you believe certain things, whether you understand that, whether your mommy told you that or not. You believe in eugenics, racial purity, that the white race is dominant in some way. gassing people in the millions that you don't like, locking up people you don't like with no due process. Does that sound familiar? All those kind of things. That's what you're saying when you throw that salute up, son. So the eugenicism is the point. Do you get it? I know you attached it all to the liberals, so it's blowing your fucking mind. Your whole life was fucking wasted trusting the wrong people and believing the wrong paradigm. That you associated all these evil things with liberals. Well, if you just would have understood the simple concept that Adolf Hitler locked up the liberals first, that's before the Jews, then you'd understand that fascism goes after dissent and people that stand in their way first. And historically, that's been the more liberal type people that don't like fascism. I know it boggles your mind, right? You heard Alex Jones say it the exact opposite way. Well, I'm not any of you people. And I state reality. I ain't selling snake oil and I ain't trying to grift nobody. And I don't get defamation charges, son. Never. Been doing this 10 years. So the eugenicism is the point, but Alex told you that it was all going to be the liberals doing this nasty stuff. No, the liberals are going to be the ones that get locked up. And then they're going to come after you, rubes. They've already come after you, some of you. Some of you lost your jobs, etc. Farms gone because of aid cuts. All kind of good stuff that you voted for. Anyway, speaking of eugenics, RFK Jr., the brainworm guy, that you guys knew was part of the package deal as well. You pretend you didn't know Leon was part of the deal. You pretend you didn't know the brainworm guy was part of the deal, but you knew who these people were, and you knew they were part of the deal, and you were willing to accept these clowns to get your clown in. That's all that mattered to you people. Now you're going to lose everything because of it, and I mean everything. Mass layoffs of federal health workers. And this headline only has 10,000 laid off. I heard 20,000. So who knows what the numbers are? All I know is the brainworm guy is in charge of health in this country. And we're laying off at least 10,000 people, if not more. That's where this is going. So yes, people dying is the point. What they did to Social Security so far, people dying or not getting their benefits is the point. Why, while Leon scrapes up another, $10 billion or $100 billion contract, but says we can't afford to give Granny her Social Security. So again, the eugenicist idea or ideal, whatever you want to call it, philosophy, that's what this is. And your country's being dismantled and looted, in case you didn't know that. All the bots that are watching. Leon puts a post up. Any government institution is most likely to be the opposite of its name. In other words, it's going to do the opposite thing it's named for. Well, someone made an excellent point going by Leon's philosophy. The Department of Government Efficiency, for example, indeed. No, they're just dismantling our country, looting it. They're not saving us a fucking dime. They cost $8 million a week with salaries and expenses. They ain't save a shit. Leon's gotten $43 billion in contracts that erases any minute savings allegedly made. They've puffed up the numbers when they put their first numbers of what they're saving us. They did things like turn $8 million into $800 million on reports. In other words, fabricated numbers. I mean, to the 10th power and shit, not adding $1,000 here and there to pad the numbers. No, to like the 10th fucking power. They padded the numbers. Then they changed them again. Then they changed them again. Then they changed them again. You know why? Because the point isn't to save money or convince you that they're saving money. The point is to dismantle, loot the place, get us in wars for resources, and get over to Israel and build a temple and a resort. That's the goal. That's why they're so blasé about everything. They know where this is going. I'd be a little antsy around 420, April 20th. I'd be a little antsy around that date. Because they'd pull some shit like that. Whatever big move they got in store. So again, by Leon's philosophy, if an institution does what the opposite of its intention or stated goal, well, Doge is the perfect example. It's part of a Nazi movement led by Leon and Donnie. They're owned by Vlad, obviously. Obviously, Leon went to the Russian mob at some point in his life. It's just bloody obvious. And Leon's not going anywhere. I know there's a lot of optimism out there, and you've heard rumors. Leon's not going anywhere. He paid $230 million for that office. He's watching Donnie for Vlad. He's not going anywhere. He said that he would step down from Twitter. He didn't step down. He gave a woman a title and pretends she runs the place. She doesn't. Leon runs the place. Doge, he stepped down for that once the word prison got mentioned. Prison sentence. All of a sudden, we got a memo from the White House that Leon has nothing to do with Doge. You know, it's just Donnie just pulled that out of his ass. That whole department that's dismantling, looting, installing backdoors into our computer systems and has all of your information already as you're trolling for them. So by Leon's philosophy, Doge is a perfect example. Here is Senator Bill Cassidy, and he was doing a interview 2 days ago. And here's a quote: "Is there some way that we cut Medicare so that it's excuse me, reform Medicare?" Do you get it? And again, this is no surprise, people. All of you people on Social Security and various social programs, the Republicans since fucking Nixon have been talking about cutting these things. It's their wet dream to give more tax cuts to billionaires. Now they're actually doing it. But they're slipping up and saying it out loud. The no-no, the taboo that you're going to cut Medicaid and Medicare. That's taboo to say. Very bad. Because a lot of their constituents are on that. A damn lot of them. Yet they keep voting against their own interests every 4 years for the party that says, I want to take away your Medicaid. I want to take away your Medicare. Oh, we want to, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, we want to reform Medicaid and Medicare. So he literally let the cat out of the bag. Is there some way that we cut Medicare so that it's, excuse me, reform Medicare? Again, that's Senator Bill Cassidy. So he's been read in. He knows what they're doing. And that kind of let the cat out of the bag. So again, if you're on welfare, Medicaid, Social Security, I'd be real worried with these people in charge. They want us all vulnerable and broke so they can unveil the Donnie coin that's worthless after they steal everything of value. That's what's happening here. This is Jessica Tarloff, who they put on Fox. I don't know why, because she crucifies everyone she gets in a debate with, because she just states reality. And the Fox people have to keep track and mold and curate lies. In other words, they have no foundation to stand on. It's constant lying. Tarloff doesn't have to lie. She just states what's happening, and the people look stupid. And it happens over and over again. I'm surprised I haven't gotten rid of her yet. But whatever. Tarloff, Time magazine was there when the gay barber from Venezuela, who had a crown tattoo that said Mom, was being processed coming into the El Salvador in, oh, am I boring you again? I'm sorry. I guess Tarloff is talking to Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters, no, but you've been talking about this gay barber from El Salvador with some stupid tattoo for weeks. Weeks, Jessica. This is the person that took over for Tucker Carlson, so they had to find someone at least as scummy and Russian-owned as Tucker, but really, who's as Russian-owned as Tucker? My God, it's just flat out obvious. So Jesse's the next best thing. We're talking about a man who is in a death camp in cells with 70 human beings. Do you think you could survive that, son? You privileged American. Do you think you could survive that? No, you couldn't. You'd lose your mind in about, I don't know, 3.2 seconds. And Jesse's just so blasé about it as he gets his whatever 2 billion a year from Fox. You keep talking about this guy. Yeah, because this guy's rotting in a fucking death camp in El Salvador. And there's a good portion of society that's laughing about that. And Jesse just, oh, don't want to hear it. I bet if Jesse's bitch ass, you hear me, was in the death camp in El Salvador, he'd have a whole nother attitude. I bet you he'd have a whole new take on the situation. I bet Jesse Waters would want everyone talking about it so they could somehow get his ass out of there, because it's literally a death camp in El Salvador, and most of the people they ship there aren't from El Salvador. So if any of you cowards or Jesse Waters were in the cell, I imagine you'd have a whole new attitude. Let's continue. Gutfeld, yeah, come on. So Gutfeld is agreeing with Jesse Waters. Waters, it's just a gay barber. Gutfeld, he's not into you. So Gutfeld is making fun of Tarloff. Jesse is like, I don't want to hear about this. It's just a gay barber, man. Waters, he's an innocent guy who got swept up in deportation. Wow, Waters is admitting the guy's innocent. I'm surprised he's going that far. And hopefully we get it figured out and straightened out. But a lot of people in this country, Jessica, got arrested for things that they didn't do, got falsely accused, falsely convicted. Yeah, but they didn't go to a death camp in El Salvador. They at least are in America with American resources. And they know how to communicate with people. It's a whole nother thing when you go to a death camp in El Salvador. Have you seen the high money, well-produced commercials that look like movie trailers as an advertisement for the death camp? Have you seen that? I showed them. I showed pictures. I put links in the post section. So he's comparing that person that just got snatched off the fucking street and shipped to El Salvador to someone getting falsely accused and arrested and incarcerated here. And that's after he said, yo, can you just stop talking about this guy? In front of you people, he said this, and you tune into that person. What does that say about you? Oof, I wouldn't want to be any of you people when the man comes around. Again, remember the statement in the midst of the story, right around where we are right now. He who is for captivity, into captivity he goes. Are you proud of yourselves, MAGA? You finally turned the White House into the circus you've always dreamed of. Look at that. Look at Kid Rock standing there in his best, I don't know, pimp, evil Knievel outfit. I mean, classing up the place. Donnie classing up the place with the orange makeup, as usual. Where's he at? Let's get a look at Donnie. Got an orangey tan hue with some whitish looking hair there. And then you, of course, one more look at Kid. Doesn't he look great? Looks great. Really classing up the joint. Totally turning into the circus that you people have always dreamed of. Here's another pic. Look at him leaning on the desk. This is great. Remember this picture, guys, as you watch the downfall of your nation. You know, a year from now, 8 months from now, whenever they unleash the real shit they want to do, which they're doing slowly. And they're slowly dropping the facade. They're getting tired of keeping up the facade. Are you proud of yourselves? You should be proud. This is a symbol, a portent, an icon that represents the downfall of your nation, your future, your children's future, all of our futures. Looks great, doesn't it? Are you proud of yourselves? I'm sure you are. Crimes that could get you sent to El Salvador: harming Tesla, wrong tattoos, wrong country of origin, wrong political party, wrong place, wrong time. Indeed. One guy, the Trump's lawyers even admitted in court, yeah, we fucked up by sending this guy down there. He wasn't supposed to go down there, but we can't get him back. There's nothing we can do. We just, I guess we just got to leave him in the death camp, even though we admitted in a court document that we shouldn't have sent him there. That's Donnie's people admitting that. So when they come out with the dossier on this human being that J.D. Vance and all of them have been pushing, which is complete bullshit, remember that Donnie's lawyers said this person was not supposed to be sent, that we fucked up. But we can't get him back. There's nothing we can do. Once he's in the death camp, he's probably dead already anyway, in a cell with 70 fucking criminals. So yeah, again, laugh about this now, but it always comes to your doorstep. Remember the poem about fascism, about World War II. First they came for the trade unionists, then they came for the liberals or whatever, however it goes. Then they came for the Jews, then they came for me, and there was no one to speak up. That's you, son. The one laughing about this right now. How many of you thought you were too special for the government job cuts? I wonder. I've read a lot of your testimony when you went on CNN or whatever. The few of you that were ballsy enough to admit you voted for this on a camera in front of people. How many of you thought you were too special? I've read so many of your comments where you flat out said you're too special, that you're down with what the plan. You're down with the plan, but not like this. In other words, you're down with watching other people get fired, but you're too special. You're too good. No, in Leon and Donnie's eyes, no one's too good. You're just another sheep. You're another 50 cents in their bank account. That's all you are. That's all you ever were, son. We tried to tell you the orange-faced monster was a grifter. You didn't want to hear it. You knew better. Now your government job's gone. Your good government job. Some of you just got promoted after 20 years working in the agency, but then you got pushed back to probationary and you're gone. I know you thought because you got promoted, you thought because you got perfect eval scores that you were immune. No, no one's immune to the beast, son, and no one's immune to the false prophet. Leon goes on multiple interviews and states how great it is, or the philosophy that if you complain about not getting your Social Security check, loudly, then you're a fraud. Him and Nutlick doing the rounds on the shows. These are what kind of humans who have billions of dollars, both of them, say about you people. And you vote for it. Anyway, I wouldn't want to be you people laughing about this deportation bullshit. I wouldn't want to be you people that have worked for Vlad for many, many years and are still trying that. Like this cunt here, Miss Le Pen, another one of Vlad's fucking straight up puppets, gets busted for embezzlement. Isn't that interesting? I keep seeing this so often with MAGA people and Vlad's people. Donnie's one of Vlad's people. He's a convicted felon. He tried to overthrow the government. He stole 3,000 classified documents. He's an adjudicated sexual assaulter. He's an adjudicated fraud. This person's now an adjudicated embezzler. I don't know. I'm seeing more criminals than honest people in the MAGA/Russian movement. I keep seeing headlines like this. Turns out you people aren't about family values. You're not about the law. You're about Vlad Putin flipping the world from democracy to chaos. Because Vlad's a straight up demon. Donnie's the beast. Fucking bitch-ass Leon is the false prophet. That's what you got. That's what your name's on. I know you didn't know. You just thought you were voting for regular evil. I know. The normal, regular evil. Not this time, son. And I knew what you were doing. That's why I've been trying to warn you for 10 years. I knew you weren't just voting for regular evil again. I know back in Hitler's day, the people that sided with him and supported him and voted for him, they thought they were just voting for regular evil again. Nope. Special. Got a special Satan's blessing on Adolf. And it just occurred to me, Adolf's movement resulted in the Jews getting their homeland back. It's a fascinating thing. And now we have a resurgent Nazi movement based on Hitler, with Leon with the Nazi salutes, and Donnie's all into it too. That's going to go after them again, even though they look like close allies right now. That's not going to last. He will betray them like he betrays everyone. This is the beast, son. Loyal to no one. Junkyard fucking dog. He wants gold statues in Gaza of himself. That's what you're dealing with. That's another epiphany that kind of came to me, because I get doubters. And some of the doubters are even surprising me. Some of the doubters are people I know that profess to be all about this when the time came. Now, when they see the time coming, they're scared. They want to look for loopholes. They don't want to accept it. Donnie's the only leader I can think of in history that wanted gold statues, or wants gold statues of himself. Gold balloons, gold trinkets being sold by street vendors of himself. On the Holy Land, son. When have you ever heard about this before? Never. That's why this is different. Just like back in Hitler's day, everybody thought they were just voting for another evil politician. Nope. You was voting for a beast back then when you were voting for Hitler. You people now, you voted for the beast. Worse than Hitler. Again, what world leader can you think of from the last 200 years or further that wanted gold statues of themselves on the Holy Land? I can't think of one, man. Maybe if we go back to Roman times, maybe some Roman Caesars or elites might have had statues of themselves there. I don't even know. I'm talking about modern history. For the last few hundred years, who has wanted gold statues of themselves on the Holy Land? Why they alive? Who likes worship more than Donnie? Have you ever seen a person that needs to be worshiped, adored more? There's only one person I can think of that even comes close in modern times. Leon Scum. He needs that. He gets all fucked up in his little presentations if he faces the least bit of negativity. He's another one who needs worship, who needs adoration. He can't survive without it. It is a core need that he has. Donnie has it even worse, in my opinion. Then again, Leon's the one with the Pepe Caesar frog up on the wall. So they both have a Caesar complex. They both have a God complex. When have you seen this before? I didn't see Barack Obama trying to get gold statues of himself on the Holy Land, son. And which Christian that voted for this is going to say that's not an abomination? Is you going to dare, as a Christian man or woman, saying a gold statue of Donnie Shitbags on the Holy Land is not an abomination? Dare you try it? What other world leader can we think of that's floated this fucking idea? And I don't see Donnie rebuking it, saying it's nonsense. Everybody just saw the commercial. We just kind of, they're just telling you what they're going to do right to your face. This is someone commenting on the death camps again. I don't like the word evil, but I don't know what to call this other than that. I think we're dealing with some pretty evil people who have an immense amount of power. Yes, I describe the El Salvadoran dictatorship as evil right now, and this is why. Abrego Garcia's family has had no contact with him since he was sent to the mega prison in El Salvador, known as SECOT. His wife spotted her husband in news photographs released by Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele on the morning of March 16th, after a U.S. district judge had told the Trump administration to halt the flights. Oopsie, Bukele wrote on social media, taunting the judge. Oopsie, that an innocent man is in the death camp. They laughing about it, son. So when the word evil is used, understand why. Because this is what we dealing with. The president of a country is mocking an American judge because an innocent man got sent to his death camp. Donnie wants gold statues of himself on the Holy Land. Leon goes on TV to talk you into missing a few Social Security checks. And if you don't like it, you're a fraud. We are dealing with evil class. So the word, when they use that word, it's not dramatic. It's not drama. Oopsie, Bukele says. He's of partial Middle Eastern heritage, too. We looked up a little bit about this demon destined for the lake. And when he gets thrown in, if I get the privilege, if I'm worthy, whoever gets the privilege, I guess, oopsie, he fell in. That's the end of that story. That'll be funny, right, Mr. Bukele? Oopsie. Like I said, everybody laughs until that fire hits their ass. Everybody's having a good time. With saying things like oopsie when an innocent man sent to another country to a death camp. Or Jesse Waters, I'm tired of hearing about the gay barber that's in the death camp that shouldn't be there. Can we move on to something else? Yeah, I wouldn't want to be you people. Because it's all fun and games till that fire hits your ass. And that's the lake of fire, for those that don't know. Look it up. A lot of people that are laughing now will be crying later when they're standing on the banks of that lake. Think it's a game. Think that this is all there is. Your stupid fucking job, your stupid house, your stupid car, your stupid life. How much you can amass for yourself as you laugh at the plight of poor people, people who get thrown in death camps. Of what use are you? To the man. Of what use? You answer that question, son. I don't think you're going to like the answer, though. The Musk-Trump co-presidency is gutting the Social Security Administration. It is breaking it from within, and it ultimately will lead to cascading failures, interruptions, and system shutdowns. That's Martin O'Malley. He was the former head of Social Security. They replaced him with a sycophant who disobeyed Mr. O'Malley's orders and gave Doge access to your information at the Social Security office. The underling gave them access. He was not supposed to. He did it without permission. He was disciplined. Then they fired the head, gave the underling that was disciplined the head job. So when you don't get your check, at least you know the process that got you there. That's why I'm guiding you through the process that cost you your Social Security check. Mr. O'Malley testified before Congress, and he basically broke it all down. And this is the basics of what he said. They're dismantling and looting the place. They're taking money from Social Security, people's money, paying employees up to a year's salary in some cases for them to quit. Taking money out of the department to pay employees a year's salary if they quit. Do you hear me? That's your money. Do you know why they're doing that? Because they don't care about the end result. They don't care about you rising up and getting out in the streets. In fact, that's exactly what they want you to do. That'll give them the excuse that they need. But again, a report's due on the 20th of April on whether to invoke martial law regarding certain immigration issues. And again, immigration for these people has always been the doorway for fascism to rain that down upon all of us. So Mr. O'Malley breaks down how, same thing I've been saying, you're being dismantled and looted, son. That's what they're doing to Social Security. He tried to warn you. You guys are laughing, I guess, that he got fired. A lot of you out there that voted for Leon and Donnie, you're going to be crying later. And I hope your mother, father, whatever, isn't on Social Security, because there's probably going to be problems in the future. That's the intention. Again, eugenics. That's the intention. And to make it as hard as possible to get your benefits in the first place. They know they're going full fascist. They don't care if you're out in the streets. They know they're going to crack down at a certain point. Anyone who scrawls a swastika on a Tesla has obviously committed a hate crime. That's according to Leon. That's a Leon post. Sorry, you can't see it that well. The lens is probably getting foggy or something because of the humidity in here. I find this interesting. If you scratch a swastika on a Tesla, you've committed a crime. But if you do a Nazi salute on television in front of the entire world, that's not a crime. I have a problem with that dichotomy, I guess you could say. So swastikas on Teslas, even though Leon loves that symbol, he did the salute, right? That means you love that symbol. You can't, just sweep the swastika under the rug when you throw up the Nazi salute. So Leon would love to have that symbol on there, but he's got to turn it into a hate crime, whatever, terrorism, whatever, to get the Reich moving forward, to get more people under the umbrella of we can deport them to El Salvador or arrest them or whatever. You need as many people under that umbrella as possible as a eugenicist, as a person who wants to subjugate the population. But they need to do it slowly so the rubes are okay with it. And eventually they'll come for your guns too. There's already a plan. Roger Stone worked the whole thing out. You'll love it. I'm sure you'll hand them right over to like good rubes. You do everything else Donnie asks you. So even though Leon would love the swastika on the car, he pretends he doesn't like that that's happening. And Leon throws up the Nazi salute. What about that, son? What about you, Dad? Anyway, more A-10 Warthogs deployed to the Middle East. That's on top of, again, of the Diego Garcia deployment, which I'll get to a little later quickly, just to list that, just so you know the type of equipment that's moving. And a Warthog plane, that's for like tank busting. They're low flying, slower planes that have powerful guns, bombs, maybe little missiles to fuck up tanks on the ground. A very old plane, a very useful plane. Several Warthogs and more than 300 airmen, 300 you say, are deploying as the U.S. military builds up forces in the region amid ongoing fighting with Houthi militants in Yemen. Remember, the Houthis in Yemen, Somalia, that's the entrance to the Gulf of Aden. They want to take over America, or Donnie and Leon want to take over the Suez and that whole waterway leading up to Israel. That's what this is about as well. Also, I think they're about to attack Iran like a motherfucker. Iran got away with firing, what, like 200 missiles or something one night at Israel. I was surprised Israel didn't respond as if it were the apocalypse. That's probably because they were waiting for Donnie. And they're probably going to respond now with American forces. That's why this buildup in Diego Garcia, that's why this other buildup in the Middle East, I think they might attack Iran. Also, again, the buildup in the Middle East, they got some big plans for Israel. A resort and a temple and clearing out the Gazans. And they want the Egyptian military off the Sinai Peninsula. So that kind of tells you where the Gazans are probably going to go. The Sinai Peninsula. So we've got a fleet or whatever of Warthogs. We've got 300 airmen, and that's allegedly just for Yemen. I highly doubt it. They don't need all that for Yemen. And again, there's more. I'll read the other deployment to Diego Garcia in a minute. Anonymous says incarceration without due process is fascism. Yes, literally, that is fascism. Literally. Not kind of fascism, not a little bit it's straight up fascism. If they can grab you off the street for any reason they want, and we're already at that point, and ship you to El Salvador or wherever they want, move you 8 states away, whatever they want to do to you, we're already at that point. That's fascism. You're already there. You've invoked it. You've put your name on it. You ushered it in. Those of you that are on team MAGA, Donnie, and Leon, and Satan, etc. So literally, incarceration without due process is fascism. Yes, literally. That's literal fascism. This is Bobo. And doesn't she look great? She's trying to look all serious for the hearing, like she wasn't an escort. So she's trying to look all serious with the glasses and, be serious. And, they let her do dumb shit like take part in, the JFK hearing with, senile ass Oliver Stone sitting there. Not that Oliver hasn't done some great movies, don't get me wrong. So that's what they use Bobo for. A little JFK theater, as if anyone gives a fuck about the JFK assassination at this point. I know all you people wanted the Epstein stuff. Problem is Donnie's name is all over that shit. So they got to be real careful what they release. Anyway. Lauren Boebert, GED holder. Yes, she didn't even graduate high school. Isn't it? It's a total success story. From escort to running for Congress. Gets her GED right before her run for Congress, right around that time, and gets in. GED holder who wants to abolish the Department of Education just did this. This is Bobo. Wasn't it Oliver Stone who implicated LBJ in the assassination of JFK? Morley, you're confusing Oliver Stone with Roger Stone. Bobo I may have misinterpreted. I apologize. You can't parody this. They're condensing the conversation. It went a little while, and you saw Oliver Stone like lean over to the guy next to him. I guess that's his lawyer or something. I don't fucking know. And they're like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" And Oliver Stone tries to give an answer, and he says basically to Bobo, like, "No, I never said that, but I did say this." And they finally realize the guy next to Oliver Stone is like, "Are you talking about Roger Stone? And this is Oliver Stone." And Bobo like shut him down like real quick, like, yeah. I mean, she's a fucking idiot. And you geriatric fucks voted for this because it gives you the thought of a hard on because you can't get one anymore. Not without the little blue pill. Again, you have Bobo, the clown, ex-escort, in Congress, trying to come off as smart, asking Oliver Stone a question that should be directed at Roger Stone. You know, the guy with the Nixon tramp stamp. That Roger Stone. Oh my God, this is an imbecile. But hey, when she was, helping her boyfriend out, who was a Democrat, by the way, in the Beetlejuice play, when she was giving the guy a little action, vaping, classing the place up. Anyway, let me get off Bobo. I could talk all night about Bobo. My point is, you people are so bad that you thought that Bobo was a good idea. That's why you're losing your country, because you think people like Bobo are a good idea. That's why your country's gone, son. I hate to break it to you. Again, I know you guys, you all thought, I'm just going to vote for my typical evil politician that I usually vote for, because I hate this group and that group, and they promise to go after them. No, it's going to come to your doorstep again, or excuse me, this time as well, not just theirs, the people you don't like. Sorry. That was your choice. I didn't choose it. You did. Anyway, again, the Diego Garcia deployment. The U.S. has expanded its presence at a base in the Indian Ocean, putting Iran, Yemen, and the Middle East within striking range. I'm glad they put all those scenarios in there because the planes are there for all those reasons. This isn't just about Yemen or Somalia. It's not just about Iran. It's not just about Israel. It's about all three. What do they deploy? 7 B-2 stealth bombers. One stealth bomber could take out a whole country with a few nukes. One. They got 7. 8 B-52s. 7 C-17s. 10 KC-135 tankers. And a P-8A Poseidon. I didn't know what that plane was. That's a plane you use to bomb submarines. So they got the whole motherfucking package here. Heavy bombers, stealth bombers, tankers, submarine bombers. They ain't playing games. And again, that's in addition to that other deployment, that Warthog and 300 airmen deployment. So I would expect a war with Iran in the near future. Because Donnie wants that and Israel wants that. The problem is Vlad doesn't want that. So Donnie's got to walk this fine line with who do I help out more, Israel or Vlad? I have a feeling he's going to eventually be right down the pipe with Israel because he needs them for his future plans, his resort, etc. He does not need Vlad. Is Vlad willing to let Iran go? I don't know. Iran supplies Vlad with drones and all kind of weapons. Iran has been one of Russia's main allies. So again, this is a fine line Donnie has to walk. But Israel and Vlad are now aligned as well, which is a big mistake. And they're both aligned with Donnie, who's the beast, which is the worst mistake you could make. So someone's going to have to get thrown under the bus first, unless Vlad gives the okay. But I don't think Donnie's going to wait for the okay. And I told you this beforehand, Mr. Putin and the rest of you. I told you eventually he's going to turn on you, and he's going to have something the second he gets the keys to the White House that no one else on earth has. The United States military, which no other force on earth can contend with. So if he wanted to take out Vlad Putin, he could take out Vlad Putin easily. In other words, Donnie will have the biggest stick on earth to hit people with. That's the beast that's going to have that. That's like giving it to Adolf Hitler, which at one time he did have. So if he wants to turn on Vlad, he'll do that. If he wants to turn on Israel, he'll do that. And that's what's going on. That's the kind of tightrope Donnie has to walk for now. So we've got two deployments, major deployments of aircraft and airmen. Enough planes that could destroy an entire country. Just that one squad of stealth bombers and B-52s could destroy all of Iran easily. It looks like Leon wasted $2 million in bribe money, and I heard he spent another $25 million throughout this whole race. Susan Crawford wins the Wisconsin Supreme Court seat, defeating Musk-backed conservative Brad Schimmel. That's what she looks like. And Leon put all that work in. He wore, the cheese hat. He handed out fake checks for $1 million. Put $25 million into it. Here's Leon right here. Look at him. Doesn't he look great? He looks great, right? Yeah, he had the giant flag as if it was an old war movie because he knows that means something to you, Rubes. Got the cheese head thing. Handing out fake checks. And then this happened. The cheese landed on the Cybertruck. And that $2 million he gave to his good buddies, he just wasted it. It's probably Russian or Saudi money or something anyway. It probably wasn't even his fucking money. That's if the checks are even real. Because again, I need to see bank statements with Leon Scum, man. Bank statements, or I don't believe it. But he alleged that he spent the money, so it appears he's wasted the $2 million. Musk again misleads on Social Security fraud. I don't like the word mislead. Why don't they just say lie? I hate when headlines do that. He's not misleading anyone. He's lying his fucking face off every day, all day. The world's richest man misstated a statistic from the Social Security Administration to once again overstate fraud in the program. Yes, they lie. They find these weird coding things and they turn them into a real issue, like 150-year-olds are getting Social Security checks. That's not true. That was a complete fabrication by Leon. Leon is not stupid. He's doing it intentionally so he can, put out the illusion that there is huge fraud going on in Social Security. The only huge fraud I see, or the only fat fraud I see, is Leon and Donnie and JD. JD changed his name 3 times, so he's a total fucking fraud. And Donnie's an adjudicated fraud. And if Leon wasn't able to buy the presidency, he'd be in jail for fraud right now, too, over that Tesla stock and many other things. So, yes, when he gives you these examples of fraud within Social Security or in an agency, he's pulling it straight out of his ass, and I guarantee none of the instances are true. So instead of misleads on Social Security fraud, no, he's lying about it. So he has something to say, and you have something to say when you go on social media or you're at the water cooler. Based on nothing. Again, the whole MAGA movement and most of GOP politics, everything you've based your life on, all complete fucking fraud. That was all designed to just milk you and make you vote against your own interests. And the rich people that just wanted tax cuts, that just voted for evil, decade after decade. Again, it's going to come to your doorstep now too, son. Bill Gates, you ain't safe. Mr. Sindar, you're not safe. None of you. The beast will come for you. That's Donnie's shitbags. But you already know this. That's why you all lined up to throw him $1 million apiece. And Bezos throwing him even more. And Zuckerberg throwing him more through, lawsuit settlements. So you know he's coming for all of you. I'm just reminding you. Again, be ye rich, poor, rube, non-rube. It's coming to your doorstep, unfortunately. Again, the top people that just wanted the tax cuts and they saw the pitchfork and horns and said, fuck it, I need my tax cuts. And the poor people or the middle class, whatever, that saw the horns and pitchforks and just said, I got to have my team win. Cost you everything. Again, you don't just get to vote evil this fucking time. This time, it comes a knocking. That evil you thought you could control, that you thought was just politics again. Now it's going to come a knocking. I'm sorry. You chose it. I begged you not to, and so did a million other people. Here's another one that got away. Judge ends case against Eric Adams bowing to Trump administration wishes. There's another criminal who got away because they went full MAGA and turned to Donnie shitbags. Now case just, magically gets dropped. Isn't that nice? Oh, this is when Leon broke the law the other day by handing out the checks. Remember, it started with a post by Leon. Then everyone told him, yeah, Leon, you're breaking the law with that post. So he altered the words of the post. Then he did 2 videos, one with the male winner of the check, one with the female winner of the check, the $1 million check in Wisconsin. I call it the, the Wisconsin bribery raffle. That's what I call it. So Leon shoots a video with the woman. Leon wasn't in it, but the woman's standing there and she explains that I did everything Leon wanted me to do, including vote, and I got $1 million. Well, since the word vote was in there, that was breaking the law. So Leon had to cut the video to take that part out. So we've had 2 instances of Leon literally being caught breaking the law on a post. Then he changes the wording. Then we have him breaking the law on video with one of the winners of the bribery raffle. And she has to, they have to take the word vote out. So they had to cut the video. So we had to alter his violations of the law twice. But we watched the intent. We know what the intent was. He broke the law in front of all of our fucking faces and no one did a damn thing. At least he didn't win the race. At least the other judge won, thank God. But let me read it to you how it's presented here by George Conway. Direct evidence of criminal election bribery under Wisconsin Statute 1211. My name is Ekaterina Dietzler, she said in a video posted Monday morning. I did exactly what Leon Scum told everyone to do, sign the petition, refer friends and family, vote, and now I have $1 million. That was the first cut. I watched that video. I remember her saying vote and all that. They had to change the video. Leon Scum Group removes video from $1 million winner after she says she got money to vote. Leon Scum's Super PAC removed an X video with $1 million giveaway winner in which she said she received the money in part to vote. That's a crime. But we all knew what Leon was doing here. He was breaking the fucking law. Wouldn't that be cool if that worked for you guys too? When you broke the law, you could just change the wording a little bit. Look, I'm not breaking the law now. No, only rich people can do that. Poor people can't do that. You break the law, they immediately arrest you, throw you in prison. You don't get to change the wording. You don't get to reshoot the video. You just get arrested. Oh, this is Tesla Cybertrucks. It appears Tesla isn't taking them as trade-ins. Let me just read this. This is Electrek. With Tesla having issues selling new Cybertrucks, the automaker is reportedly not taking any as trade-ins. Many Cybertruck owners reported trying to trade in the truck for a new vehicle, and they were told that the automaker currently doesn't accept its own vehicle as a trade-in. Some owners who have had their trucks in service for extended periods of time are also trying to get Tesla to take back the truck. But the company is forcing them to go through the lemon law process. Well, when you're selling garbage, I guess that's what you got to do, right? Otherwise, you got to file bankruptcy. But again, this is a car company that sold you a piece of shit for 150, 170,000. And you go to trade it in, maybe you want a new vehicle, to the very company you bought the car from that, touts the greatness of their fucking products. And they tell you to fuck off. We ain't taking that piece of shit. Can you fucking believe it? Can you believe it? So what is the company in essence doing? It's admitting their product is garbage. That's what the company is literally fucking doing. When you try and trade in your truck because you want whatever, a different kind of Tesla or whatever, and they say, well, we're not going to accept your Cybertruck as a trade-in. Wait a minute, I bought it here, man. And they just tell you to fuck off. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yes, the biggest corporate welfare recipient in the United States is a legal immigrant, Leon Scum. Isn't he beautiful? This kind of threw me. Right before Liberation Day, Donnie decides he's going to sell all his True Social stock. I guess he figures, I'm president now. I'm about to go full fascist soon. All the other shareholders in the True Social thing that I'm about to fuck over, they can sue me. What are they going to do? I'm president. I'll just have them executed, or I'll send them to El Salvador or something. That's what Donnie's thinking. So I assume that's why the sale all of a sudden. 2.3 billion Truth Social stake, as if Truth Social's worth anything. But there's a lot of other investors that put their money in, and Donnie's just going to sell all his out from under, because I guess he's just like, fuck it. What are they going to do? Sue me? I'm the president now. I could send an F-15 to their house. What the fuck are they going to do? Oh, Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, and I believe it was one more. Oh, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Senators, Republican senators that decided they were going to join the Democrats in the Senate to vote for a bill that would reverse Donnie's tariffs on Canada. I know why Mitch did that, because there's no way it's going to pass in the House. So Mitch doesn't have to worry about it passing, but he gets to put his name on there as if he, did a protest vote against Donnie in his last year in the Senate or whatever before he croaks. Because I don't think Mitch is running again. So he has nothing to lose now. He can just retire or die or whatever he's going to fucking do. So Donnie went on a whole fucking rant about, don't they care about fentanyl coming into our country from Canada? About that story, more fentanyl goes from the United States into Canada, and I mean a lot more than comes from Canada into here. So that's a whole entire myth. Just like we need the Gestapo to go round people up because of the immigration issue. That's a doorway to round you up and to add new groups just to get the door open. Same with this, that fentanyl bullshit. When the White House was a literal drugstore when Donnie was in office, we learned. Ronnie Jackson, remember him? Should have called him Dr. Feelgood. My God, what he was giving out. Giving out pills like Tic Tacs. So this, we're worried about fentanyl coming in from Mexico and Canada. No, they're not. That's the shield they use to get the door open, to shame these four. because Donnie just wants to grift with these tariffs, and they're fucking up his grift. And again, that's Mitch McConnell, that's Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul of Kentucky. Yeah, Rand's really not down with the tariffs, by the way. And this is what I've been trying to warn you all about. And this is a very well done picture. Very ominous and real. Since 2015, I knew it would go to this place. And this place is called The Abyss. And that's why I've told so many people over the 10 years, get out the cult while you still can. Because since 2015, if you're still part of this, you have been inching closer to the edge, inching closer to the abyss. That's all you've been doing. The world has not gotten better because of your movement. In fact, it got a lot worse. In fact, there was a plague during it last time when Donnie was in office. I have a feeling we're going to get more of that. Like Freedom Freckles, measles now, all over the place. Donnie and Miss Levitt and Nutlick and all those people, they'll just call them Freedom Freckles. Don't worry. It's the price of freedom. One more time. That is your existence since 2015 if you're still part of this. Inching closer to the abyss. That's all. That's why I say what I say. That's why I say get out of the cult while you still can. It's too late, though. It's the reign of the beast now. But for the people in the cult, they still have a little bit of time left to turn the other way. And I hope a lot of you do. Because this is all you're heading for. One more time, get a good look at it. Get a good look at it. And remember the million people that warned you in advance. Not because they don't like you. Not because they don't like Donnie. They just state in reality, and I'm just stating reality right now. This is all you doing. America's already on that edge. We're already kind of falling over, actually. With the looting and dismantling by Donnie and Leon. And, you know, the Hitler Youth. The bunch of kids that dropped out of college. And the one that's fresh out of high school called Big Balls. They all have your information now. All it's leading to is the abyss. We tried to warn you. And if you would have heeded the warnings, you wouldn't have a child called Big Balls digging through your Social Security info or whatever info he wants to, installing backdoors so he can access it later. This is a total statement on the world today, and especially America. There's two banners here regarding two high-profile killers. One's Luigi Mangione. The other one is, they don't even have his name. It's not important. I don't remember his name. Luigi Mangione killed a CEO of a healthcare company, a white CEO, if I'm not mistaken. So let's read the two banners, see how they match up. DOJ directs prosecutors to seek death penalty for Luigi Mangione. Okay, they're going to try and get the death penalty for the guy that assassinated one person on the sidewalk. This person, gunman who killed 23 in racist attack at Texas Walmart, offered plea deal to avoid death penalty. So the guy that killed one Caucasian CEO, DOJ wants the death penalty. The guy who killed 23 in a racially motivated attack at a Walmart in Texas. I heard my whole life how tough you people are in Texas and how tough Texas is and don't mess with Texas. What's up with the plea deal for a guy that shot 23 people in a Walmart? That sounds like kind of a slam dunk to me. Unless you're trying to send a different message. Of course you is. One more time. Gunman who killed 23 in racist attack at Texas Walmart offered plea deal to avoid death penalty. It kind of sounds like a slam dunk case. Why would they have to offer him any kind of deal, honestly? But then in Luigi's case, when he only kills the one white CEO, and I'm a white guy saying this, by the way, DOJ directs prosecutors to seek death penalty. This is a perfect illustration of where we are as a globe and especially as a country. This is why your country is over. Again, another huge reason. There's another disparity. The 23 people killed in the Walmart were not filthy rich. We're not on the high end of financial society. That's another disparity. Not only the color thing, the wealth thing. Again, it shows what the priorities are for this nation. It's a perfect illustration of it, actually. We're also comparing one man's life to 23 lives. And the person that killed one man, well, we want him, death penalty. We can't have CEOs getting whacked. But this guy that killed 23, let's give him a deal. Again, this is why our country is over. I hope it was worth it. This is Leon trying to pick up the pieces from his loss in Wisconsin last night. And the first thing he said is the long con of the left is corruption of the judiciary. No, the long con of Leon Scum was trying to convince us, or not telling us he was a Nazi, pretending he wasn't a Nazi this entire time. He didn't just change overnight. No. He was a Nazi the whole time. So that was the long con of Leon Scum, pretending he wasn't a Nazi. And then Leon says this was the most important thing. And what happened in Wisconsin last night as well, Wisconsin question 1, which adds a voter ID requirement to the state's constitution. In other words, Wisconsin already had voter ID. This question was to add it to the Constitution. Worthless, meaningless. There's no victory here for Leon and the $100 million he spent on this election. So Leon trying to make you think that, oh, well, we got voter ID. Wisconsin already had voter ID. This bill was to put it into the Constitution. That's all. So Leon didn't win shit, and he wasted all his money on this little endeavor. But he's trying to make you think, he's trying to make himself feel good, make you roops feel good. Good, look, we spent all this money and we cheated and we broke the law, and we got these victories. I'm just going to read this quickly because this disgusted me when I read it. Today, thousands of health workers lost their jobs effective immediately at the CDC and FDA. People are literally finding out if they were fired at security when they try to badge in. It's cruel and unnecessary, which is the point. Yeah, this is how corporate cunts do it. They do things like that, where you go to swipe your badge to go to work like a responsible adult, and it doesn't work. And you're like, well, what's going on? Because they're too chicken shit to put their face and name on it. So all these people that got fired had to find out the hard way by trying to swipe their badge to go into the office, again, like a responsible adult. Unlike the brainworm guy, unlike the Special K Nazi salute guy, unlike the guy who leaves his house in orange face. So they show up, they try and badge in, and their badges don't work. And that's how you know you lost your job. Isn't that sweet? Again, that's the capstone cherry on the downfall of your nation. Enjoy it, especially if you voted for it. But beyond jobs, historical knowledge, and projects stopped in their tracks, this will impact Americans' health. Viruses don't pause when the government stops working. Neither does bacteria, worker safety, or chronic diseases. HIV prevention, gone. Environmental health, gone. like heat risk to children with asthma. Environmental disasters team, gone. Gun violence prevention, gone. Injury prevention, gone. Communications, gone. Worker safety, gone. Division of Reproductive Health, gone. Disability health, gone. TB prevention, gone. Office of Blood Disorders, gone. National survey focusing on drug use and mental health, gone. Forecasting diseases, leader, gone. Can someone explain to me how this makes America healthy again? Because it seems like to me this isn't about health at all. It's dismantling the very systems that protect us. Indeed. I've been saying that this whole time. You're being dismantled and looted. These people are just getting it when they got the pink slip, huh? Yes, all the systems that protect us, welfare, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. The point is to dismantle it and loot it and start off something new called fascist Nazi dictatorship. And once they steal all the assets that are actually of value, cash, buildings, gold, whatever, then they're going to offer you the worthless Donnie coin with fight, fight, fight 666 on it. Watch it happen. Oh, all I have to say for this is thanks, Rubes. Right, class? What do we say when the Rubes do something nice for us? When the brainworm guy fires everybody and then goes and sleeps with his whatever mistress he's got going with his fucking frog throat voice. What do we say, class? Thanks, Rubes. You know, like the freedom freckles that are going to be coming around your town soon. Time zones are so crazy. In Denmark, it's noon. In Canada, it's 6 a.m. In the USA, it's the late 1930s Germany. Yeah, I've been saying that for 10 years, and people, gave it over dramatic. Oh, we got death camps in El Salvador now. Brown shirts. Van Rensburg, remember him? Gestapo. Got people being grabbed off the street. No due process. Haven't committed any crimes. We got admitted mistakes by Trump lawyers in court. Hey, we accidentally deported this guy to the death camp in El Salvador. We're admitting it. But you know what? Once he's in the death camp, we just have no ability to get him back. Sorry. And the president down in El Salvador, who's destined for the lake, he just says, oopsie. That's a dystopian nightmare you're currently living in. And yes, that nightmare could and will come for you. Don't worry. Don't matter if you're driving an F-250. Don't fucking matter. Sorry. Yes, you're in late 1930s Germany. Not 1933. Late 1938. Something like that. And you know what happens in 39? Oh, here's Donnie Rock. Check him out. That's Donnie in the Kid Rock outfit. You know, the symbol of the downfall of your nation. But, you know, enjoy the movies on Saturday night. Enjoy the football game on Sunday. Here's Leon again. I expected to lose, but there is value to losing a piece for positional gain. He got no positional gain. He looked like a fucking fool. He flat out bribed people for votes. And it still didn't work. He got on a stage in front of people with a cheese wedge on his fucking head. He didn't win anything. He didn't gain any position. They already have checkmate anyway. They've got their reins of government. They've removed all the guardrails pretty much. Last step, you know, arrest all the Democrats or something. That's probably what's going to happen at some point. Maybe 420 it'll happen. Remember, there's a report due. I forget who writes it. Is it Miss Bondi and Hegseth? I can't remember the two people. And they're going to advise Donnie unless, you know, if he needs to invoke martial law or not. around 420 regarding the immigration stuff. You know, the doorway into subjugating you. So I'd be a little nervous around 420 that it might go full dictatorship that day. Hitler's birthday, Donnie and Leon, they ain't nothing they love more than Hitler. So he didn't expect to lose. He was hoping he would win, and he didn't get any positional gain. Now he's got to pretend that he's leaving the administration. He's never leaving the administration. Neither of these people, Donnie or Leon. Don't ever expect that unless they're forced to. Freedom Freckles. MAGA calls this freedom, Freckles. Vaccinate your children. And again, I'm not a big proponent of vaccines, but I've heard about measles, man, what they do when you actually have them, and then the future permanent damage it does to humans. Really bad stuff, man. So, yeah, you might want to get that measles vaccine for your child. It's 97% effective, I believe, so there's still a chance you could get it. But that's where we're going, more and more measles cases every week. And eventually, I guess, you know, they'll be calling them freedom freckles or something like that to cover up the plague. The People's Republic of China is now restricting Chinese corporations from investing in the U.S. Yes, I expect more moves like this. Again, if the Asian countries gang up on us and say we're going to fuck them with tariffs and we're going to stop doing business, and America's fucked. If Europe and Canada do the same thing, America's fucked. And remember what Donnie did to the American weapons manufacturers. First, he alienated all of our enemies, and then there was this rumor that there's a kill switch for the F-35. And we got a bunch of countries that ordered those. So now they don't want those anymore. And then Donnie said, well, this new plane, the F-47 they're going to build, you know, when we sell it to foreign countries, you know, it'll be a dumbed down 10% weaker version. He said that out loud. So, and you guys have been screaming for Europe to pick up the tab, Europe to arm itself, Europe to take more action. Well, Europe's heard your call. And they're starting to see the wisdom in Donnie's philosophies. And they're going to have an arms race in Europe and Canada. The problem is they're not going to use American weapons manufacturers. I promise you they won't. And that's because of one person, Donnie Shitbags. So when you lose your farm, when you lose your business, when you lose your government job, when you lose your weapons contract, major weapons manufacturers in the United States, thank Donnie for it. Thank yourself for it because you probably voted for it. Okay? So when Europe only buys European weapons or whatever, Chinese weapons or whoever else makes weapons, when Canada does the same, when all the people that ordered the F-35 tell you guys to fuck off, thank Donnie and thank yourself because I guarantee you voted for it. Oh, this is amazing. This is where we're at, people, and this person did this on purpose. In an alarming moment, GOP Congressman Keith Self decides to quote Hitler's Minister of Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, to make a point. There is never any reason to quote Goebbels ever. Yeah, especially in a hearing room. When you're working for us as a government representative. For fuck's sake. And the quote was something, I watched the video clip, something to the effect of the state has to monitor the progress of the populace, something like that. I don't know what it had to do with anything. All I know is there were very few committee people. Maybe there's 5 or 6 people up here asking questions. So it's basically an empty committee room almost. There's some testimony going on. There's some people in the audience, but only about, or maybe 7 or 8 committee people, Congress people. And this man, Keith Self, yes, I watched the video to make sure he quoted Goebbels as a representative for the U.S. government. in a committee hearing. Goebbels. And he didn't say he was sorry. I don't see people rebuking him for it. It was a minor blip of a story. This man intentionally planned on and quoted Joseph fucking Goebbels. And the other people on the panel were like, did you just quote Goebbels, motherfucker? Real? Did that just happen? In other words, what I'm trying to tell you, he did that on purpose, just like Leon did the Nazi salute on purpose, doing these things more and more, making them more acceptable, desensitizing you. So when it happens, you're just like, oh, well, that's Donnie, you know, Nazi regime. You know, they've been talking about it every day. Now they're quoting Goebbels. And they're not ashamed to do it. So it seems there may be a few others in the GOP that are straight up Nazis, just like Leon. But then again, the GOP movement going way back, there's always been a major component of racism in there, and a little bit of Nazism, and a lot of fascism. Always. But again, this isn't the same time as all those other times where you get to vote for pseudo-fascism or evil and just walk away unscathed. I know you're used to that. That's not the case here. I promise you. And you're going to see that more and more. And you're going to start to see it my way. Trust me. Trust me. When they're quoting Goebbels, your country's over, son. When the co-chancellor is doing Nazi salutes, your country's over. When Kid Rock's in an Evel Knievel outfit leaning on the Resolute desk or whatever it's called, your country's over. Hate to break it to you. When you remove sanctions on Russian oligarchs via their girlfriends, your country's over. Trump has just removed sanctions from the wife of one of Putin's closest friends. You know, we'll just remove sanctions on the wife and then money can just go through her. And, you know, then we really didn't, you know, get rid of sanctions on the oligarch. It's his girlfriend, right? Right, Roops? Katrina Rotenberg has just been removed from the OFAC sanctions list. She is married to Boris Rotenberg, a Russian oligarch and longtime loyalist of President Vlad Putin. You're going to see more and more of Donnie, just the facade dropping and him just lifting sanctions on these oligarchs. They think they're slick by you know, taking his girlfriend off the sanction list. Wow, you totally fooled me, Donnie. Again, I'm waiting for the headline. You're going to wake up one day. American weapons found in dead Russian soldiers or dead North Korean soldiers' hands in Ukraine. When are we going to see that? Or when are we going to see a straight up weapons package? Because no one else is going to buy our weapons. Only Russia. That's our only customer now. But Vlad's got plenty of blood money to give to the American weapons industry and buy their weapons. Who knows? Maybe Donnie will just sell them weapons directly. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. Donnie Krasnov has been Vlad's bitch since 1987, and everyone knows it. When we say capitalism is a predatory economic system, this is what we mean. And here's a headline from the Financial Times. Again, a total barometer or gauge or thermometer of where you are at, how hot it is, how close to the fall of Rome we are. We're Rome, by the way. Refugee camps are an untapped opportunity for private sector, just like housing was. How many corporations have bought up all the single-family homes and turned it into a mutual fund of grift and robbery and usury? Well, it's become a whole industry. Well, now we've got death camps. This is an untapped resource for you capital people. Get in on it now before the stock in the death camps gets too high. That's where we at. Financial advice being given by the Financial Times. Refugee camps are an untapped opportunity for private sector. We know what you mean by refugee camps. Yeah, you're in the apocalypse. Donnie's the beast. Leon's the false prophet. And here's another portent of the end of your empire that you thought would last forever. But that's what happens to rubes and greedy people at the top when they vote against their own interests and vote for the beast, just like you all did back in Hitler's day. How did it work out for you? Not too good, right? Right. It's going to work out even worse for you this time. And it doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have. Okay? And when refugee camps are being put forth as good financial advice or an untapped market, yes, society's over. Trump unveils sweeping tariffs. Yes, Donnie did this after the market closed. All day was going by, and I'm like, well, it's fucking Liberation Day. Why isn't Donnie bragging, talking shit? Oh, he was waiting for the markets to close. Then he announced. So it appears the markets didn't drop. But if you look at pre-market trading for tomorrow, Dow down 1,000. Where's this shit at? The market reaction after hours, I've never seen anything like it. Fair to say this is worse than the worst case scenario. So Donnie thinks he's slick. He announces tariffs on the whole fucking universe after the market closes at 5 today. And where's that other piece of that story? Hold on. I'll go back to it. All I know is people are freaking out. The Dow was down 1,000 last time I looked. Then it was down 800. But I'll get to the actual numbers in a minute. This is Senator Jim Banks. I believe he's from like Indiana or something. He's a total cunt. Someone was fired from their job. They were walking out of the building and they said it out loud. And this guy told them they probably deserved it or something like that. Said something horrible. And then he also said this when Jim Banks was asked about it on CNN. Senator Jim Banks on the job held by a fired federal worker he mocked. It was a woke job. That's what he said. Then in the next breath, Banks admits he doesn't know what his job actually was. And it's a shame that Mr. Banks and the rest of the GOP and the MAGA movement, the Nazi movement, can use that on you. It was a woke job. And then all you go, yeah, okay, I get it now. I get it. He didn't even know what the job was that the gentleman got fired from. And he won't know what your job was either when you get fired because the economy tanks. Again, you think 2 million federal workers added to the looking for a job pool is going to help you, son? No, that's going to tank the economy. Plus Donnie's tariffs. And they want to tank it because they got to get you on that Donnie coin. Don't worry, it's coming. You'll see. So this man, what the real point here is, it's a shame you rubes are so malleable that he don't know shit about that guy, what job he had. He just goes to the go-to phrase that gets all you rubes in a tissy, excuse me. It was a woke job. Oh, no, we don't like that. That's why your country's gone. Because a person that knows nothing, Mr. Jim Banks, an utter dunce, waste of oxygen, knows absolutely nothing. But what he does know is the talking points that work on fools. The word woke, the thing that doesn't exist, except as a buzzword for rubes. It's the only place woke exists. So Mr. Banks doesn't know a damn thing. He's a waste of oxygen. He's a flat out fucking bend the knee dunce. But he knows that propaganda. He knows those buzzwords that get you rubes all riled up. It was a woke job, but I don't actually know what job he had. But I know the word woke works on the rubes and gets me elected. It makes the rubes go away with a smile on their face as they vote against their own interests again. But don't worry, folks. Guess what? You're not going to have to vote against your own interests again. This is the last time. You know why? Because you voted for the beast. And the beast's going to come a knocking at your doorstep. And don't worry, you're not going to have to vote no more. Because it's all over. The country, the planet, your future, your children's future, everything, all gone. You won't ever have to vote again. Don't worry. Donnie's going to take care of it for you. And you're going to get that dictator you always wanted. You know, the dictator with an R next to their name. You're going to get that. They should really have an N next to his name for Nazi, or B next to his name for beast, or S next to his name for Satan's disciple. Defense Minister Katz announced that Israel has launched a fresh offensive into Gaza targeting, here's the best part, large areas that will be added to the security zones of the state of Israel. What does that sound like to you? What are they saying? We're going to take some of that Gazan territory and make it a security zone. And, you know, we might build a resort inside that security zone. And then we might slap that temple up on the Temple Mount because we're going to throw the Gazans all on the Sinai. And what the fuck's anybody going to do about it? Because we're going to have Donnie Shitbags, the Antichrist, to back us up. That's what the plan is. Large areas that will be added to the security zones of the state of Israel. They're telling you what they're going to do. They're taking some territory. They're going to make sure no one's there, no Gazans, no terrorists, no nobody. And they're going to call it a security zone. So at least they're telling us what they're going to do. This is strange. The Trump administration has put a 10% tariff on the Heard Island and McDonald, which has a population of 0 people and is habited only by penguins. Yes, Donnie tariffed an island or 2 islands with no population, no people, and only penguins. Do you still understand that you're dealing with the Antichrist? Do you understand that now? Back to the market. This was hours ago. The numbers have since changed. The last numbers I saw where the Dow was down 800. The other 2 numbers are basically the same. But this person is saying, holy smokes, the Dow is now down over 1,000. NASDAQ is almost at 900. S&P 500 at 200. But what you can really see are the declines since closing. In other words, a few hours after Donnie announced the tariffs. Just because you wait to announce something for the market to close that day, it still affects the market from that point forward. Does Donnie understand that? Of course he does. He just didn't want to deal with it till tomorrow. Well, tomorrow he's going to fucking deal with it. My God. Jim Cramer's probably going to hang himself live on camera. So these are the numbers I got earlier. Dow futures down 1,038. S&P down 199. NASDAQ down 868, son. All Donnie, all tariffs. That's why that happened. The Dow actually gained like 300 points today. And I'm like, how did that happen when Donnie announced the tariffs? He didn't announce them yet. He waited till after the market closed. But the second he announced them, the market just went, straight fucking nosedive. Again, do you understand? You're dealing with, one, Dow Jones manipulation so Donnie and his buddies can get rich. 2, you dealing with the beast. So you get things like 1,000-point plunge on the Dow in a fucking evening. And again, crashing it is the purpose. Eventually, they have to crash it. They have to get you on Donnie Coin. It will happen. Be prepared. And here's the penguins telling Donnie to fuck off. They don't like the tariffs. So like the whole world should tell Donnie, the penguins are saying fuck off. We ain't paying shit. And I don't blame them. Okay, we're at the end here. And this one baffles me a little bit, but I know Donnie's a fucking monster. Israel removed all tariffs on U.S. goods yesterday and still received a 17% reciprocal tariff in return today. This is Israel. Donnie's about to go to war with Israel. I mean, alongside Israel. Donnie needs the Israelis to believe he is their man for what Donnie needs to do. And they already believe it mostly. So I don't understand this move. But again, you're dealing with the beast who would throw his own mother under the bus for $1. So he might be helping Netanyahu out. Maybe Vlad got pissed off about the Iran plans. And maybe Donnie thought, well, maybe I'll do this to Israel and it'll make Vlad a little happier. I don't know. Or maybe Donnie's just the beast and he just wants tariffs on everybody because he thinks everyone's going to pay it and all the money's going to go to him. Again, Donnie thinks he's Caesar. He thinks he's God. He thinks all that federal money is his. Any tariff money is his. He thinks the Suez is his to charge access to. Panama is his to charge access to. That's how Caesar would think. That's how someone who thinks they're God, has a God complex, would think. They want the whole world, baby. Vlad will get Russia and the Baltics and that whole area and some of Europe. Donnie gets Greenland, Canada, America, Mexico, Central America, top portion of South America, Gaza. I just don't get this. Israel even preemptively removed all tariffs on the United States. And Donnie still puts a 17%er on him. And he's about to go to war side by side with them. And he's about to build the temple with them. He's about to get rid of the Gazans and build the resort, Trump Gaza. Yet he slaps this tariff on. Very confusing. I don't know what this is. And the Israelis are kind of pissed about it. What the fuck is this? We're total allies. Donnie's like the savior. We take all tariffs off of America, and you still hit us with 17%. What's going on here? I don't know what this is. I don't know why this happened. Maybe Donnie's trying to just not look so obvious, and maybe he'll quietly make the tariffs go away for Israel. I don't know. I just find it very strange because I have a big feeling we're about to go to a war with Iran, with Israel as our ally, and we're about to police Israel and Gaza with Israel over building the resort, getting rid of the Gazans, and building Trump Gaza. The temple, on the Temple Mount. The only way that would ever happen is if America was there with military hardware to say, if Iran shoots a missile while we're building this temple and resort, if anywhere, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, anyone shoots a missile, you're done. They're letting everyone know now. That's why the deployments and the military buildup of the top of the line shit, bombers. And I think that's going to be the rollover there, a war with Iran or just a wall of U.S. military that says to Iran by its very presence, you best not fuck with us and Israel while we're building this resort and temple and getting rid of the Gazans. They're letting the whole Middle East know. They're also letting the Middle East know We want control of the Suez. We're going to clear it out. Therefore, you must pay us. They want to extort Europe and Egypt, etc. But the cat's out of the bag on that one. Remember the Signal app chat. They basically straight up said, we're going to clear the path to the Suez, and we expect remuneration from Egypt and Europe. And how do we get them to comply? How do we force them to comply? So extortion of Egypt is on the table. Extortion of Europe is on the table. The seizing of the Suez and the seizing of the Panama Canal is on the table. Military taking over our allies in Greenland and Canada, Central America, top of South America is on the table, and El Salvadoran death camps are on the table. And they laugh when you accidentally get sent there. Yes, you're in the apocalypse. Yes, Donnie's the beast. Yes, Leon's the false prophet. Yes, the president of El Salvador is destined for the lake. Yes, Vlad Putin is destined for the lake. Yes, so is Donnie. Yes, so is Leon. So many others that think this is all fun and games right now. Anyway, until the next episode, remember, get out of the cult while you still can. You don't have a lot of time left. There's going to come a point where it's too late. I promise you. Where they're going to ask you for that last thing that you have. You know what that last thing you have is? Your soul. They're going to ask you for that. You best say no. It's not going to go well for you if you don't. Anyway, until the next episode, have a wonderful evening.